Dragon Ball gets many Ichiban Kuji releases, but rarely does it get a set that has nothing but bangers in it. Today, we're reviewing a set that has just that. Dragon Ball Z Chronicle of Goku. We'll be reviewing every figure from my least favorite to my favorite, giving each one a ranking between the legendary Z tier rating or the infamous F tier rating, and telling you why this set is going for over $1,000 on the open market right now. Let's dive in. Today's set released on May 8th, 2026, which is the day before Goku Day, an official Japanese holiday honoring Son Goku. That's incredibly fitting because Chronicle of Goku is a set full of high-quality Masterlise figures of Goku throughout the series, plus a couple of guest characters that Bandai likely couldn't help but feature alongside him. Just like the Dragon Balls, there are 7 incredible figures in this set, but before we dive into them, let's quickly spotlight the other prizes in this set that are exclusive to Japan. Prize G, acrylics, featuring various characters. These are meant to hang off a ledge or a shelf, which is pretty unique. I also hope Bandai makes that Majin Buu into a Masterlise one day. He's so adorable in his pajamas. Prize H, rubber keychains. These are some of the best I've seen them make, and I love the selection. I had to keep the Super Saiyan Goku for myself, to be honest. Prize I, art posts. These are all incredible and based on Toriyama's art, whether it be from the manga itself or an outside illustration like from the Shonen Jump covers. I've noticed there are quite a few featured characters on these that have some sort of figure being released this year, which is pretty cool. Prize J, microfiber towels. These are your standard microfiber towels featuring different characters. Now that we've covered all of the small prizes in this set, it's time to review every single figure in this set from my least favorite to my favorite. Let's go. In last place, we have Ultra Instinct Son Goku. The figure is based on Yamamura's art of Ultra Instinct, which was shown alongside Toriyama's first ever illustration of the form in V-Jump magazine. Some of you might be surprised to see Goku's most powerful transformation and the first UI Goku Masterlise in 6 years down at the bottom, but there are a lot of areas that frankly really disappointed me with this figure. Let's start with the good. I think the sculpt details on this thing are overall pretty crazy. When you take a close look at his torso, you can see every muscle fiber not only meticulously sculpted, but tons of brushstrokes they kept from his prototyping that gives him a major look of quality. It reminds me so much of the Omnibus Brave Super Saiyan Goku, so I really did have to compare them. You can see that the sculptor made both figures' ab structure, shoulder and bicep definition, as well as their back structure near identical. There has been some speculation for some years now that Keiji Iwakura was behind these, but now that I have this UI Goku in hand, I'm not so sure that it's him. While I love the muscle definition and brushstrokes, his face is a big letdown. From a distance, this Goku will look great, but when you zoom in, you start to see the failures. Goku's eyes were painted on way too high for the molding of his sculpt. You can see empty space under the white of his eyes, and even the intended upper part of his eye mold pressing out from under the silver portions. His frown is also not fully painted in. The right side is missing some black paint, making it look incomplete. Additionally, there are tons of seam lines going across the top of his hair, near his bangs, and I even noticed some paint bubbles in a couple parts of his hair. Not to mention some of his hair paint bleeding into his neck on the back of the figure. This Goku stands at just under 10 inches and will scale pretty well with your larger Masterlise collections, but I will say his proportions aren't great. Coming out of a set with these bulky Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 Gokus makes his muscle build even more noticeable. He just looks too scrawny to me. His legs are way too long and his torso is also too small. I know I've done a lot of complaining about this UI Goku, but I do overall like him, at least at a distance. It's just a shame that he had to be the odd one out in a set as legendary as this. So I'm giving him an A tier rating. Up next, we have the last one prize entry of the set, Oozaru Goku. It's rare to see a last one prize ranked towards the bottom of a set, but it's not because he's bad. It's really only because this set is so stacked. This guy truly emphasizes the word monster in every sense. Oozaru Goku is based on Goku's first transformation seen in the manga during chapter 22 at Pilaf's castle. I've seen a lot of people in the community disheartened by the size of this thing, and I totally understand. When measured up to his head, he's only about 10 inches. If you measure the arms too, he's closer to that 12-inch mark. I do agree that he could have been a bit larger, as we've become accustomed to Oozaru figures being huge. Is it a deal breaker though? Not in my eyes. This Oozaru is Kid Goku, which, if you look back at panels during his transformation at the Tenkaichi Budokai against Jackie Chun, you'll see that he was not even big enough to cover the entire building that they resided in. Another benefit of the smaller scale is that this figure is kinda heavy. No longer do we have vinyl, hollow figures like the TGS Golden Oozaru of the past. The sculptor decided to go in their own direction by making him as ugly and monstrous as they could. Goku's monstrous fangs look almost rotted with how crooked and dirty they are. The entire inside of his mouth is insanely detailed with a nice gloss on the tongue. What really drew me in though were his eyes. They have a glossy red finish and a nice black bolding around them to really pop. The fur details are also insanely well done here, with so many layers of browns going from darks to brights to emphasize the shadows. Side note, this is not a recycle from Keiji Iwakura's past work. He confirmed on Twitter that he has no involvement. I believe whoever's been making the Mega Impact Attack on Titan figures is the new sculptor here, as it reminds me a lot of the recent Jaw Titan figure. He might not be my favorite Oozaru or even prize in this set, but I was really surprised with this piece. I was just blown away. I'm giving him a well-deserved S-tier ranking. You can't have a Kuji called Chronicle of Goku without Goku's first appearance in it. The figure itself is based on Chapter 1 of Dragon Ball and is one of the very first panels in the manga that we see of Goku. Goku's face is so unique here. While we're used to seeing his rounded eyes for his expression as a kid, it's dialed up to 11 here. It really captures the aesthetic Toriyama depicted and drives home the feeling that he's a very young kid. Toriyama used to design Goku's hair slightly differently at the beginning of the series, and his proportions were a lot more cartoony. Larger head, smaller body. And that smaller body really works here. Standing at just above 4 inches while crouched, this feels like the perfect scale for Goku during this era. The pose also fulfills a common complaint that Masterlise figures are too boring. Being crouched and ready to fight adds a lot more energy to this piece. Oh, and the paint on this guy is really impressive too. They use some sort of pearlescent paint for his gi that makes it almost glow in the light, showcasing a beautiful mixture of blues and purples. I also love the details on his tail with every little strand detailed beautifully. My only complaint is the seam line on the top of his head, but it's pretty easy to ignore. With all of that being said, I can say with confidence that this is the greatest Kid Goku figure of all time. He's an easy Z tier pick for me. Super Saiyan 2 is a form that's been dismissed for quite some time. Sure, Gohan gets plenty of shine with it, but characters like Goku hardly get any figures of SSJ2. Today that changes with the definitive Super Saiyan 2 Goku. He's based on chapter 458 of the original manga when he first reveals his form to Majin Vegeta. Goku vs Majin Vegeta is my personal favorite fight in the franchise, so I was beyond excited to finally have this in my collection. There are really unique and cool things to spot with the colors here. Goku's gi has some really nice, deep, dark blues for his undershirt and boots, and the orange of his gi is deep but bright. Gone are the days of mustard yellow for Super Saiyan hair. This goes for a pale yellow but still leans closer to a brighter yellow since he's flaring up his ki. When held in the hands, he has a really nice weight to him that feels like major high quality. I love the little details of the sculpt. The line work in his hair, the halo hidden in how it's placed instead of using a pole, and the attention to detail by having the cut on his shirt from his fight with Yakan. It's chef's kiss. The gi itself is brimming with life since you can see his sleeves angling up. Looking at his face, the line work is insane. They even sculpted in the little dimple Goku has in the manga during this scene right next to his gritted teeth. Goku stands at just about 10 inches and really does stand out. This is the ideal Super Saiyan 2 Goku pose, and they really went all out to show movement, depth, and quality. He's everything I could have asked for and an easy Z tier pick. Up next, we have Bulma, based on her very first appearance in Dragon Ball Chapter 1. People forget that Bulma was really the one driving the story in the beginning. You can't have that Kid Goku without Bulma, really. Bulma really got the short end of the stick in last year's Son Goku's training set, but this piece is a huge improvement. The details on this Bulma are incredible. She goes for the more cartoonish, emphasized look here. And that same pearlescent finish on Kid Goku's gi is also seen on her dress here. The mixtures of pinks as it glows in the light is incredible, especially in contrast to her name and the number 97 that are on her dress. I'm also glad they included her traveling patch on her waist and her gun. You can even see her bra strap near the collar of her shirt, which is an insane level of detail. The cherry on top has to be the Dragon Radar in her hand. They made sure to have the actual radar readings on it, reflecting the exact reading from the manga panel. Standing at just over 8 inches, she scales and fits in perfectly with the growing collection of Bulma figures. This is quite easily the definitive Bulma figure. She's one of the best releases of the year so far, and a Z-tier figure without a doubt. Some of you might be shocked to see Majin Vegeta at number 2 here, but I will justify my placement. Based on chapter 458, just a page after our Super Saiyan 2 Goku's reference, this is the perfect accompanying piece. I know we've seen countless Majin Vegeta figures, but this one is different. I originally stated that the Battle of World Majin Vegeta was the greatest Vegeta figure of all time, and today, he's been trumped by this one. Upon first reveal, everyone thought that this Vegeta looked odd, especially in the face, myself included. But once we got him in hand, it was clear that this is the best Majin Vegeta figure. His sculpt is insane. He's just so ripped. He's an absolute unit and makes the past Masterlise Majin Vegeta figures look scrawny in comparison. He's got an awesome matte finish that really emphasizes his bulging, veiny muscles. Now, I have seen people complain about his face, but frankly, this is just how Majin Vegeta looks in the panel that he's based on, and I love it. His eyes have a beautiful bolding around them, his mouth is expertly crafted, and he looks insanely badass from every angle. At just over 9 inches, pairing him alongside Super Saiyan 2 Goku is a must. We are all pretty sick of Majin Vegeta, but I've said in the past that if they ever return to him, I'd like something different, like no battle damage. Well, guess what? Bandai delivered. I truly believe this to be the definitive Majin Vegeta figure, and likely the greatest Vegeta figure of all time. He's Z-tier. This comes to no one's surprise. Super Saiyan Goku, upon first reveal, was met with critical acclaim and excitement. Based on such a small panel from chapter 327 with some other references in chapter 326, this figure has been perfectly brought to life from the manga. We've received plenty of Super Saiyan Namek Goku pieces, but this takes things to a new level. The direction of this piece is awesome. He's in a creative pose looking back, emphasizing the wind and atmosphere of the dying planet Namek blowing against his clothes and hair. The hair sculpt spares no detail. They nailed the fluffy Super Saiyan hair aesthetic from early Dragon Ball Z. This figure captures his Namek anatomy perfectly with huge, swollen muscles. You can see plenty of brushstrokes, scratches, and scuffs from his battle with Frieza. And hey, people also love seeing blood on their Dragon Ball figures, and there's plenty here on his upper body and face. Speaking of his face, look at that expert likeness. His piercing gaze really captures that intense, angry look. His eyebrows are textured, which is a really cool touch, and I don't think I've ever seen that on a Goku figure before. Standing at just under 10 inches tall, he commands a ton of presence. What more can I say about this piece? It's a masterpiece from head to toe. It's clearly the definitive Super Saiyan Goku figure, but it very well could be the best Goku figure of all time. He's obviously a Z tier and the absolute pinnacle of this set. If you've been watching this long, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're really close to hitting 20K subscribers, and I would love for you to join our family of Dragon Ball collectors. We've talked about some crazy figures in this set, but now it's time to talk about some of the crazy prices that I've been seeing on the market. Some prices that I've seen on sites like eBay are putting this set at over $1,000 in price. With sites like Big Bad Toy Store selling out of the heavy hitters like Bulma, Super Saiyan 2 Goku, and Super Saiyan Goku, a lot of your options are kind of limited at this point. Super Saiyan 2 Goku has been particularly pricey coming out of Japan, costing about $100, and that's before the importing taxes and shipping fees. The only reason I think his price is so high is because he has only one ticket per Kuji lottery, plus he's our very first adult Super Saiyan 2 Goku, so the demand is going to be there. But I have seen some prices dropping. Kid Goku in particular is very affordable if you wanted to import him. There's no telling what direction the market is going to go in for this set, but you can keep an eye on it via our Ichiban Kuji Scouter tool in our Discord server. It monitors the market in Japan, eBay, and overseas releases so you can make an educated decision before purchasing. The Greatest Saiyan, the Ginyu Force, Dragon Ball Memories. These are Ichiban Kuji sets that have solidified themselves as some of the best of all time due to their quality, lineup, and creativity. They've only gone up in price over time and maintained their notoriety in the community as some of the GOATs of Dragon Ball Ichiban Kuji. I can safely say that Chronicle of Goku also falls into that category. It delivers the definitive versions of characters and forms while pushing the Masterlise series to a new level of quality. It's easily a Z-tier Ichiban Kuji set and will be incredibly tough to beat when ranking them all at the end of this year. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please subscribe, like the video, and please give me your rating of this set from best to worst down in the comments section. Don't forget to join our Dragon Ball community in my Discord link via my link tree in my bio or in the description below as well. A huge shout out to Jump Ichiban, the sponsor of today's video. This set will be releasing overseas, but many listings are already selling out. Jump Ichiban will get you this set extremely fast, months in advance of the overseas release. Use discount code MatchesPeaches10 if you're a first-time buyer for 10% off 2 or more items. Or use code MatchesPeaches5 for returning buyers to get 5% off unlimited orders at any quantity. Don't miss out on this legendary set. And don't forget to become a YouTube member where you can join in on our monthly giveaway. The higher the tier that you select, the better prizes that you can win. But I think that's all I got for you guys today, so until the next video, I'll see you all later.